What's up guys, welcome to Daily Refinement. I think our live is going. Let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me okay. Today I want to discuss is 2023 the best year ever to resell? And I think it is in some respects and also might be more challenging than years past. So appreciate everybody stopping by today and let's get into it. I think right now is one of the most interesting parts of my reselling journey because so many of the brands are also reselling. And as you guys know, big brands like Patagonia, Levi's, they're buying back their goods from consumers to resell. In fact, we've been trying to do one deep dive on each brand every single week now on Fridays. And if you're looking at which things to sell, you can see what pre-owned items are going for. We have a list in the group that I got from the Real with like 500 brands where their average used items sell for over $100. Like there's still that many things out there. And I would guess that most people, 80 to 90% of those brands they've never heard of. So there are more trendy brands than ever. There's more cool stuff every year. There's a whole new year of stuff that's excellent and cool to resell. But also every single year there's more and more and more consumers. As you guys know, a lot of people now are not having as many garage sales. They're just selling it themselves. So it is very interesting. I'd love to have a Q&A with you guys if you have any questions. And I'm glad that you guys can hear me okay in the chat. But for me, as far as my operation, I am a little worried about 2024. Not like in a sense that I think like the business is, there's nothing really that's going to change in the environment. I just feel like it's not really a year where I'm going to make any big changes. Next year, I'm just going to keep on keeping on, do the same type of business because I feel like growing right now seems a little scary to me. So I feel like everyone focus on your capacity, how many you can do each week, and then try to buy exactly what you're going to be listing each week. For me, this whole space is cleared up a lot because I'm not storing anything here anymore. I have an external area that I sort and store, and then when items are ready, I bring them into here, and then we can get them ready to ship. Today, the post office started picking up again, which is a huge plus. We have a new employee locker system, which I like, and I'm super happy with my team, happy with my crew, and I want to just keep 2024 very much the same. Coffee and Resales is saying, is Under Armour worth getting? It's a really good question. Under Armour is a fantastic brand. The problem is that the brand itself is not good to resell, but certain keywords after Under Armour are worth reselling. And that's what we are exploring every single week now, trying to figure out which keywords are important for people to look. As an example, Project Rock, very easy to sell because Dwayne Johnson is trending really hard. He's really popular, he promotes it. So anytime you find Project Rock, it's gonna be worth reselling. It's a subset of Under Armour. So my entire channel is gonna be moving towards subsets of everything. So I'm really aiming towards making sure that we can really focus on what resellers need. Over the last couple of weeks, I've probably talked to 2,000 or 3,000 resellers and just over DM, phone call, video chat, figure out what they need in their businesses. And I'm finding a lot of people are actually still listing really slowly, even though like a lot of the information on how to list quickly is on there. And you guys have watched me transform over the years to doing what I want to do to just doing what's easier. What's easier would be removing steps from your process. So I hope that the people who visited me at the beginning of the year can visit me again soon because my operation is way more simple than it was before. Each time I make an improvement, it's just me removing something from my system, and it's tremendously helped a ton.
Want me to read Michael?
Go ahead.
Michael says, I average at least 1% mostly every day, and I haven't started promoting items yet. Should I even bother with promoting items or just keep doing what I'm doing? I'm currently at 300 active items.
This is a really good question. So Matt in the morning call, he's going to start doing something called the sold call each week, which is my method of reselling, which is start with quality, optimize, lower and liquidate, donate or discard what doesn't sell. And as far as the first part, which is learning how to sell quality, you actually don't need promotions. I consider the big three for promotions a markdown sale, a coupon, promoted listings. Those are the big three. I don't think you need to do that if you have quality items. You can just post great items at the best price that you're willing to offer the item, you don't even need best offer. I ran my store like that for a long time. If you want to turbocharge it and have really fast sales, you can turn on promotions, markdown, and coupons. Those are the big three, but there are 11 promotions you can do on eBay. But remember, each of those promotions costs money. Offer to watchers costs money, accepting offers costs money, promoting listings, you're paying eBay to give you more traffic. Markdown means you're cutting your margins. So I feel like a lot of people are so confused with all the promotions that they don't learn how to sell. So Michael, you already know how to sell. If you want even better sales, you can learn the other tools and tricks, but you don't actually need them. You can get a 1% sell-through rate or higher without any of those promotions. I call that eBay safe mode, where you don't worry about any of the promotions. You just worry about finding good items and posting it at a great price. So I'm glad you asked that question.
Coffee and Resell says, even getting Under Armour at $1 or less for decent prices, not seeing a lot of sales on it, even under $15.
Yep, you got to dig in there and figure out which keywords are key. There's definitely Under Armour that sells for over 50, over 100 on eBay. Figure out why those ones are more valuable. Most Under Armour is not worth picking up at $1. Some Under Armour is worth paying $20 for. So it's your job to figure out which pieces are more valuable as a reseller. And this morning we have a new UK call. It's at a different time. It's at 4 a.m. Pacific, which is actually 12 p.m. lunchtime across the pond. Few people were talking about having difficulty finding supply because in the UK, the charity shops are a bit different. And I was just sharing that my first supplier was British, and he told me that the markets in London especially are very mature. People have been going to the same shops for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. There's already companies that have contracts with all the charity shops. A lot of the stuff, by the time you get to it, there's not much left. Like the charity shops in London are small, despite it having a massive population. So obviously, those donations are going somewhere, and you need to figure out where those are going. And the main key for developing a relationship is just consistency in them seeing you and them knowing you. So it's like, that's why I'm wondering if 2023 is the best year to resell ever, because there's more supply than ever, but there are more competitors than ever. So it's a weird conundrum. So many people can sell now, and I'm finding even myself, especially because I have a YouTube channel showing so many people how to do it, a lot of my suppliers are just opening their own shop. So that worries me a little bit. It means that I have to have more suppliers. If my supplier could just say, I don't need you anymore. I have the goods, I'm just gonna sell them directly to the customer. I have to make myself relevant still in the future.
There's a question about, what about reselling women's underwear?
You can resell women's underwear, but it has to be new. So that's the only caveat with that.
Jessica says, where are you located? Still in Oakland? I'm in Santa Barbara and would love to visit.
Email me, chris@dailyrefinement.com, set up a visit. We're in West Oakland, kind of a scary area, so when you come here, either take an Uber or we have a small parking lot. Let me know before you come because it's a bit scary. But we're still here in West Oakland, and I actually really do love this space. It's really nice and warm and inviting. Kind of looks like a restaurant now because of the way we set up the lighting. It's kind of romantic in here, but I like it. It's not as harsh as having the lights turn the other direction, but the lighting is much softer in here now than it has been.
The Eastbourne Fisherman says, charity shops in the UK are really high priced at the moment as they are getting smart on pricing.
I think so. I think there's so much education now, right? People know what things are worth. It's not uncommon to find something for 20 pounds at a normal charity shop in the UK. That's only worth 24 on eBay. There's not enough of a differential for it to work. So it really is important to work with different suppliers, and even the suppliers themselves are selling on their own. A lot of charity shops have their own eBay shop, as you guys know. And that is, I've been talking to a lot of different people who have relationships with their local charity shop, with their local thrift store, with their local church, with their local community sale, their local flea market. Their uncle has a distribution service. I am currently trying to work out a deal with a 3PL company. It's a company that fulfills orders for companies like Nike, Eddie Bauer, LL Bean. So those big companies send their goods over there, and then they fulfill the orders as people order them on their .com. A lot of as you guys know, retail is not doing great. So a lot of smaller companies are going out of business, and they can't pay their bills. And these 3PL companies, like they're charging rent on people's stuff and they're not being able to pay it. So these 3PL companies are just like getting all these goods for free. I just have one right now. There's an outdoor company, and they went out of business, and now there's 13,000 items, menswear, that the owner of the 3PL got as payment for rent. That's happening more and more. There's like more and more opportunities to buy stuff, but it is extremely competitive. Everyone is a reseller essentially of some kind.
Mm-hmm. That was the last
That's
question so
it.
far.
No more questions, guys. So I've been redoing the group a bit. There's 20 calls now. For those that are wondering about the new calls, I'm just going to go over them real quick. We have a women's clothing call now on Sundays. Bella's running that call. She does Poshmark, eBay, Mercari. She does cross-listing. She does multiple platforms. I have a new YouTube call with Jack Pittman. I have a new media call with Amanda, which is very cool because she's more of an intermediate seller. In the past, our media call has been the heavy hitters. We have a live Q&A with me every single week. There's two ones that I have, one for all levels and one for high-level resellers, which I consider anyone doing 100,000 or more in sales. You can hop in if you're not 100,000 and just listen, but I want to just reserve questions for the higher level people there. That's all included in our mentorship. We have a Goodwill bin strategy, which is new, with Alex. So she's going to be running a call just about Goodwill bin strategy because that's still a very viable way to earn a full-time living reselling, getting it from the Goodwill bins. We have the antiques call with Carl, a new video game call with Frank. We have live streaming, which happens right after this call in half an hour with Michelle in the UK, and I'm trying to get a couple more Whatnot instructors in there since Whatnot is so popular. Fabulous 50s and over starts at 3 p.m. tonight. I'm going to have a couple different people rotate as coaches, and that call has been really cool. It's about lifestyle, health. A lot of people are doing eBay because they want to do their own project their own way, and that call has been very, very useful and popular. We have a new Poshmark call. Brandy does do a lot of live streaming, but I want to remind people that we're not only going to talk about live streaming. It's just part of what we're focusing on now, but we'll do fixed price as well on Poshmark, which is very much similar to eBay. The beginner call we do for 2 hours a day, every day now with Carrie, that call has been a home run. Lots of people love it. You can ask any question you want for 2 straight hours, she'll answer questions. We have men's vintage now with John. So John is a wealth of knowledge. Last week he did his first call. John loves it. The group was awesome. He's also a toy expert, collectibles expert, has it all, sold it all, involved in the industry. So cool to talk to John each week. We have Marquez. He's going to do stuff like Airbnb, side hustles, because people are also cobbling together a whole bunch of different incomes together. So I'm excited for that call this week. Jewelry with Carrie. We have a card call with Billy. So that's sports cards, Pokemon cards, any collectible cards. New productivity call for parents, which is very cool. My daughter just started childcare. I'm sorry, not childcare, preschool. So that's been a trip. And Becky, who runs that call, has 9 children, and she knows a thing or two from doing that for a long time, 20 years of raising children. Podcast is the same, but it's all interviews. So if you want to be interviewed by me, just shoot me an email, chris@dailyrefinement.com. Love to interview you, figure out what goes on in your business. We have a new shoe call with 2 shoe coaches, a toy call that's going to rotate coaches as well with different toy sellers, a new high-level call, and Sally is running a call called Skinning the Cat. And it was kind of a riot last week, and I think it'll continue to be an excellent call. She's just teaching different ways to do common things around the home. And then we have a new yoga class on Saturday. So we actually, through this whole process, I ended up getting about 5 extra calls a week, and I replaced all the previous calls for the most part. So pretty excited about this new crew and to see where this next journey takes me. But it's been really fun networking with all these different resellers.
The Thrifty Realtor says, I know you mentioned a call about maximizing, downsizing, etc. If you could repeat that. Also, I'm thinking about the listing and relisting twice a day to get rid of stuff.
So ideally, like the call about downsizing is going to be called the sold method, which is the way I recommend reselling. And essentially what you're doing is you're shrinking the size of your store and adding better items. So you list less, have a smaller store, but sell more. And you spend your whole day listing great items And then with what time is left, you get rid of the junky items. I think a lot of people are spending their whole day fixing items that suck. And at the very end, if they have any energy left, they go out and find new items. But that needs to be turned on its head. You want a small store with items that sell quickly. Here in my shop, I want to cycle through inventory every 6 weeks. I don't want stuff here. I'm not a storage company, as they say. I want stuff to be gone.
Carol says, what do you mean by a media call?
So media is books, CDs, DVDs, and I just wanted to call focused on those types of sellers because it's very different. Also, our media coach now does live streaming, which surprised me how well she's doing live streaming with media. So I'm excited to have her give a coaching session each week on that. All of our calls are recorded so that you can listen to them at any time depending on your schedule.
Zainab says, what about Canada experts?
I don't have a Canadian expert, and I think I know some Canadian sellers that do well, but I'm open to hiring one. I gotta fire up the Australian one again if we can get that going. I want to do it at the opposite time that Mel is doing it in Text Group. But the UK one's going. I'm open to do a Canada one on Friday. This week I'm meeting a German seller, and I think he might be running a call for German sellers, which is fantastic.
Perfect, because that's the next comment. Can I get info in the group about reselling in Germany? I'm interested in being part of the Facebook group.
So I have a question. Should that call be in German? Maybe not, because every German seller that I have talked to speaks perfect English, so I don't know if that's just the thing. But we could have a German call in the group. There's plenty of sellers in Germany that watch my channel, so I'd be happy to serve if I can.
The Eastbourne Fisherman says, I completely agree I'm purchasing a lot of bankrupt stock and Amazon pallets here in the UK.
Yep.
Seems to be going well at the moment.
Yeah, I think, see, here's the question I have. I do think more and more companies will go out of business. But what is like left after all those companies are gone? Is it just only going to be the big ones that are left? That's where I wonder, like, where is the opportunity for us right now? Is it just going to be good the next 5 years while all these companies go out of business? Or is it something that's going to continue into the future? Because I do think that artificial intelligence, I said this a few times, is going to make listings on eBay much worse. But I think that it's going to make it better for companies to not overbuy. I think AI will be able to accurately predict how much supply to make. I'm going to leave a list in the chat for you guys. That link in the chat goes to the list of all the calls, and there's over 20 calls a week now. And I'm very grateful for all the people who admin my group because it's a lot of people to watch. So over 2,000 people in that group, and I want to make sure I'm doing the best job I can.
The Thrifty Realtor says, what do you think about delisting, relisting twice a day? Each time I do that, I lower my price by $1. Good way to get rid of stuff or a waste of time?
So there's two hacks right now that maybe we can talk about. The first hack is delist relisting, which is where you end your item, sell similar, and create a new item number, and eBay will think it's a different item. Now, I think people have historically done this before and seen some kind of a jump, especially if you're not listing at all, right? And you list a fresh, like you have 100 items in your store and you delist 20 of them and relist 20 of them, but you don't list anything new. From what we've seen in the group, you're only going to get about 20% as much traffic as listing a brand new item. Maybe that's better than nothing, but I would rather you don't do that twice a day, don't do that at all, and just list a few new items in your store and just discount or promote heavier on the older items. That's what I would prefer. Because if you pay for a higher promoted listings rate, you're buying more traffic, right? So if you're gonna buy more traffic, I personally would want it to convert. So I would buy more traffic and lower the price because regular traffic, regular price, it didn't sell. So I would try better price, so lower price, and then more traffic to see if it'll pop. Because you don't want to do the same thing. If you're buying more traffic and it didn't sell the first time, it might just be more people not buying it. The second hack is people are adding in item specifics, like they're going through the item specifics and they're adding in ones that don't necessarily, they're not recommended. Like maybe they add in sports or athletic or evening, daytime, party, words that maybe don't relate to They don't relate to the item specifically, but there's no reason why this black shirt's not a party shirt, right? You will get more traffic at first because you're hitting all these new keywords. But in my opinion, after that first spike, it'll drop off because somebody looking for a party shirt, if they see this shirt, it's not really a party shirt, but they will now see it because of it. But it's not necessarily not a party shirt. So you might get more sales, but I think that's a lot of extra time wasted for things that don't matter. Just list it as a black t-shirt for the appropriate price and see if it'll sell. There's nothing special about adding words like party, nighttime, evening, fall, spring, autumn in the item specifics. Might give you a temporary boost in traffic, but overall your conversion rate will probably drop. So I'm more concerned with conversion rate. How many people are seeing and staying? For you guys watching my YouTube channel, I want you to stay for as much as the videos as possible. So I don't give all the, like I try to give as much information that's good the entire time. I'm not trying to do any tricks. There's no tricks to this. I'm just trying to be as useful as I can. I think you should do the same with your listing.
Coffee and resales is adding to the conversation. They say delist, relist is overrated in my opinion. Auto relist at 30 days does almost the same thing. eBay algorithm likes two things over anything else, sales and new listings.
I agree. And but new quality listings, not just new stuff that nobody likes, but they prioritize people who list fantastic new items. And shout out to I for Profit in the chat. Vincent is one of the new shoe coaches, and he has an amazing sell-through rate. And he and Ben are running the shoe call, and they're both expert shoe sellers, and it's really cool to hear two different sellers talk.
Books and Life says, I sell on eBay and Poshmark and Mercari, and I don't sell at all on Mercari. Nothing moves.
I would just focus on one or two platforms. Mercari is not known for selling books, so I would just stay on Amazon and eBay. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. You sell on those three platforms. I would prefer, as you guys know, I prefer you sell on one platform. If you want to sell more on one platform, that's up to you. I just think that if you spend all that time on one thing, you get a lot more bang per buck. And if you want to sell on multiple platforms, I would prefer different items. That's just me personally. So whatever is selling well on Mercari, you'd sell that. Whatever is selling well on Poshmark, do that. My Whatnot stream and my Poshmark, which is right there, that room, they sell different items. And I feel like that's really the form of multiple streams of income where it's different. My YouTube channel is different than my Poshmark closet, which is different than my Whatnot. I don't put the same things on all three. That's why I try my best not to have my Whatnot stream on my YouTube channel, because it's like I don't do it too often. Occasionally I will do it, but I feel like it's not the right audience fit.
Annabelle says, Chris, you mentioned we can buy in bulk from you. If
Yep.
I recall 2K, can you give me an idea of what I can get for 2K? Thank you.
So as far as wholesale is going, most of the time right now, I'm just running, you guys can probably hear the auction in the background. I'm just selling my items 2 to 5 items at a time all day. All my prices are low, so you should be able to resell them for a profit. I'm not selling bulk right now because it's difficult to do the customer service part. Reselling is an imperfect business, especially bulk. Bulk is imperfect. When you get items, they're going to be all different quality. Even brand new items, when you get them, they're going to be different quality. The amount, I just unloaded the truck last week with Christine, and 5 of the pallets fell over, and they're brand new, but now the box is damaged. So like that is, even with brand new items, there's going to be some issues with the product. So that's why I'm going to try to avoid wholesale. I'd rather sell retail, show each item in all its imperfections, and just go that route.
Coffee and Resell says, I'm waiting on Pango Books to have a website rather than just app to sell books.
Yeah, that's going to be a cool thing when they have their own app. So people are saying delist, relist works well. It works a lot better than doing nothing. I will give you that. But it only works at 20% of the value of a brand new item. So, and that's just common sense. If you have an item that's popular and you post that, it's going to be better than an item that was not popular to begin with, and you're delisting and like selling the same item that didn't sell before again. And you also, each time you do that, your hourly rate goes down. Does that make sense? Well, you guys in the chat, like sometimes I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Do you feel like if you have to touch the same listing again, your hourly rate goes down. That's how I look at it. I already spent time listing it one time. If I have to go back and do it again, I just spent more time on it and my hourly rate went down. That's like you're supposed to clean the bathroom and you go in and you do the sink and then you leave and you go back and do the toilet and come back and go back in and do the floors. Like just do the whole thing when you're in there and then move on to the next part of your house. I hope that other people share the same sentiment as me, and I feel like going back and delisting and relisting is a waste of time versus a new listing. But people don't, I don't know if you guys agree with me or not, because nobody ever backs me up on that. Let's see. Everything okay? My energy is off? Is it? I feel good. I'm a little bit tired because I have an extra, on Tuesdays I wake up and do the UK call at 4 a.m. my time. So it's a bit early, but I feel good. Life's good. Sales are good. Hopefully the post office pickup continues to stick because it's a challenge at the volume to get them to actually show up.
4 a.m. is very early.
For someone who has an extended handling time, do I have any suggestions to move more products? Other than reducing your handling time, is that what you mean? I would say that certain items people are okay waiting for, and I would say those are custom, personally. DFW kicks. I might actually hire you if you want to come in as a guest appearance on my show for kicks. I could pay you. So in my group, we have like experts give a presentation on something, and I pay $100 for that. So if you guys are out there listening right now and you want to give a presentation on the chatoyance of coins, or like you know everything about the quarters that have the states on them and you want to present it to my group, I will pay you for that information because it's cool. Every time we can upgrade what we know, you make more money. I'm gonna take, can I take that plug?
Yes.
These are in extra small, but they do
Thank
seem
you.
to run like kind of oversized, just the style of them. So, and I'll show you the tag really
What if I have listings that have 0 views for 30 days? See, that's an issue. I think there's a problem with the way you listed it in the first place, if it doesn't have any views in the first 30 days. But again, that can be solved with promoted listings, markdown, and a coupon. Those 3 things have the biggest effect on driving traffic to your listings. If you're not getting any views in the first 30 days, a lot of it also has to do with what you're buying. That's extremely uncommon to get no views on an item. Thank you, Duncan. I appreciate you supporting me over the years. I don't know, Duncan, if you would be down to ever do an interview, because you sell crazy ephemera. And the stuff that you sell, I feel like, is everywhere, but no, it's so... Duncan has a really high average sale price selling paper. That's everywhere. The ephemera that he sells is like everywhere. So I just don't know how to sell it. Time away or increase handling time. I recommend increasing handling time. Time away. I never want people to know my store is closed, ever. I'm live streaming currently, and I really like this live streamer called Kraken Hits. And their tagline is streaming, their tagline is live for eternity. And they're live 24 hours a day, and they have been for like a year. Like, that's so cool. Like, they never stop selling stuff. So I'm a big fan of long-term stuff.
Charles says we're on an 18-wheeler, so we have a handling time of 15 days. We can move products, but we really can't do anything about the handling time per our travels.
Is it possible to do it with the wire? Like, can you just set up a little shipping station in your truck? Like, I feel like there's plenty of truck drivers in my group. I feel like they just run their store inside with their phone hotspot. Why can't you ship? Do you mean that you're away for 15 days?
Yeah, like maybe you can't get to a post office.
Good to watch me on YouTube. What do I do when your business is working like you want but not as exciting anymore? I will tell you that I'm never bored when it's working. It's the exciting part for me is like there's always things that need my attention.
Yeah, always.
Right? So I've never really had it so, oh, Chris, you don't need to come in today. We got it. It's not that easy here with staff. Why do some sellers keep listings that are not selling? They just don't know. I think a lot of the listing philosophy is list it and forget it. So I'm trying to change that. I want people to monitor and trim, and the sold method means getting in there and fixing your listings when they don't sell. You're too handsome to be interviewed? Yeah, makes sense. DFW says he would love to, but there's so many fakes and high-end footwear. I know. That's why the shoe sellers in our group don't really sell sneakers. As weird, maybe it's not weird, but for me, it's scary to sell footwear because of the authenticity. So most of my shoes, even here for designer shoes, they go to the Real. Especially if they're over $200. I'd rather they handle the authentication. Duncan sells British ephemera from the 1700s and 1800s. I know, that's like, like, what should I sell? Ephemera from the 1700s and 1800s. Like, that's so random. Do I have a how to sell and whatnot? Yes, I think, well, no, I don't, but I should. I feel like, let me back up for a second. I actually do have a whatnot section in the eBay white papers. And I'm going to be converting that into my own products soon. So I do have a course on how to do whatnot, and I don't. It doesn't need to cost money. I can do it on YouTube for free. I think there's going to be so many new people on whatnot, and providing those resources would be very cool.
Yeah, like a full in-depth tutorial.
Full
Great.
tutorial. Yep.
Yeah. Bargain Hunter has a question. Do the eBay stats freeze when you go time away? Did extended posts last time and it took 2 months for sales to go back to normal.
I think it only takes 1 week. If you have some kind of eBay issue, consistently listing for 1 week usually resets your store. That's been my experience. I haven't seen anybody list good items for 7 days and their sales haven't rebounded. I've seen people list junk for a year and it doesn't rebound. But like good items into your store, I feel like 1 week it turns back on.
And Miller says, should you delist individual items not selling and then relist as a bulk listing?
I wouldn't, because I don't like investing in things that suck. Like if it was bad the first time, I'm not gonna go. I'm just gonna lower the price until it doesn't sell. That's what I'm gonna do. I don't want to reprocess it again. It already was a mistake the first time, and now I have to go back and bundle it together with other bad items. I don't want to do that. I'll just take the L and move on to the next item. I don't want to keep taking an L on the same item over and over again. That's like getting back together with your ex. I don't know if that is worth it or it works in general. What's the oldest garment I've sold? We sold a lot of 1960s and 70s jackets that I found at the flea market, but that's really the oldest. I haven't found any like pre-Civil War or like any crazy old clothing.
Duncan misses the train sounds.
Duncan's saying ideally you can take time off your business and your staff runs it without hiccups. They have. When I took time off for my son, the store ran without me. It is weird though, because I don't feel comfortable. Like they say, you're not really a business owner until you can take a 3-month vacation. Everything runs the same. I am not there yet. So that's like, I must not be a real business owner, because it's very hard to have it operate that smoothly without you in the beginning. I've only been doing whatnot for 18 months, so it's not to the point where it's completely self-sufficient yet.
Tay says, is it just me or is it more fun to list the item right away versus sending it to the draft bank?
It's more fun, of course, and if you list every day, you don't need a draft bank. The draft bank is only there for emergencies. You don't need an emergency fund if you never have any emergencies, right? But I like to have extra gas in the tank, extra cash in my pocket. Somebody was just commenting like, why do you drive a minivan? And I was just thinking, because it's affordable for what I'm doing right now. It's like, I'm honestly kind of afraid to spend money at this point, because it is very like, since the pandemic, pretty much everything has doubled in price, and it's only like 4 years ago. Like, and people's jobs, they didn't double their income. Just when they printed all that money, it made money kind of worthless, and it's kind of scary to me. So kind of taking my time right now, building up my business, building up my reserves.
It's starting to get hot.
Is it?
But I
Okay.
think we're good right now.
3 more minutes.
Okay.
Is it
The
saying
camera
that?
dies. Yeah, there's a little alert.
Oh, okay.
The Thrifty Realtor says, I have what I think is a vintage Chanel handbag. If I list it, will it automatically get set up for authentication, or should I not waste my time the same way I don't sell Nikes?
I would send it to the Real, or if you're gonna sell it on eBay, get someone to authenticate it for you and use that certificate as one of your pictures.
Autumn says, is selling on Whatnot worth it in general? What categories?
I think it's worth it if you're selling off price. You're trying to get full price or market price, not a good platform. Any category it works for off price. Off price is like TJ Maxx, Ross, Marshalls, Goodwill, local thrift store. The prices are not that high, right? So that's Whatnot is like that. It's like a garage sale, flea market. If you're trying to get more money, it's a terrible website because the volume is just, every single one of my items I sell is like 50% of what it sells for on eBay.
Kayla says, would you consider someone discussing jewelry on your YouTube? I know about the jewelry call, but I'm hoping to get a feel for it, for what is offered before joining.
If you guys want to try any of the calls, email me. I'll send you the password. Try it. See if you like it. The jewelry call in particular with Carrie is excellent, but I would do an interview with you if you want to talk about it. I can talk about your business and let you know if you can see if it's of value or not. Patreon also has a new trial thing, which I have never tried before, because I feel like I already have a money back guarantee. I don't want to offer a trial also, but some people want to try it before they buy it, and that's okay too.
Duncan's asking, what is your end goal with reselling, Chris? Or is there no end, just resell forever?
It's a good question. I was just talking to a supplier who's 65 years old, and I said, do you still want to do this? What is the deal? And he said, I always find value, and that's what I like to do. When you're reselling, you're just finding value. So it's kind of forever. Like it's like, I don't know, identifying opportunities and identifying value to me is not boring. So I don't, and I love being able to provide jobs. That's like a cool concept for me. I want to be able to provide a place where people can work. Right now I have 9 employees and it's like the best. So I don't know if I want a bigger operation. And it's not boring. I can tell you my job is not boring, and Christine can attest it's never the same. She comes here every week and it's always different. So it's just, there's just a lot of, when you're a reseller, your inventory is different. So when you're a retailer, your inventory is always the same. So I'm really grateful that our inventory is always different and interesting.
Not Your Friend says, do you think that selling thrifted items on Whatnot is profitable?
Kind of. My average sale price for thrifted items is like $10 to $13. So if I could get items for, like I was at my flea market, for $1 to $4, it's highly profitable. But it depends on what you're paying for the thrifted item. If you're paying between 6 and 10, more difficult. You're paying 5 and less, more doable.
Thank you for the super chat, Jamie. They say, I'd love for you to watch my first magazine live on Whatnot, so you can give me your input. And then they gave you the store for you to watch.
Jamie's Bodega. If you email me, it'll be easier, but I'm going to write it down since you super chatted. Jamie's Bodega. Okay, I'll check it out. What would be really great is if you could like screen share yourself for a little bit and then you tell me what you think could be better. That's always the best way for me to help you. Like you show me what you think you need to do and then I'll double check. Because I don't really know enough context to give you advice from just one little snippet. I'll try my best, but I need more context.
Cool.
Books and Life says you got rid of your gas guzzling truck and you got a small car. That's cool. Yeah, I did the opposite. I got a Prius and then I bought a minivan, which gets terrible gas mileage. You love the dopamine after scoring so many wins. I agree. Okay, we're gonna call it. Thank you everybody for stopping by. We're gonna make a really banger video for you now that'll go up later this week. Appreciate everybody stopping by, and until next time.
Should I run it
What's up?
I was looking for a mug.